All right, there it is. There it is. We're mic attached. Mark mic charged up from last night. I think. Pause. Sounded kind of crazy, but I did the little clip on microphone I got. I charged it up because last night I did my hour long package opening, my very last package opening for Beyblades. That is. So specifically on that, got that out the way finally. So I was able to clear out all this packaging and stuff around the room. You know what I mean? I take away some recycling. Room starts to feel slightly cleaner. Things are in a more precise, concise space, whatever. But yeah, man, let's talk about the simulation of life, man. It's interesting, man. They used to say this shit pre-social media. They had that. I don't want. It's not really a saying, but it's more like people will sit there and laugh at you. People will be within the crowd against you to a certain point until you're proven correct. But you can't necessarily say that for everyone because some people are just cynical and some people are a little more schizophrenic in their ways at times. I'm not necessarily saying that in a bad way, but some people are a little crazy to the point where it's just like, yo, you believe in some wild shit. Some people really believe in some crazy shit about themselves. But if given the chance, sometimes I hear people out because they're able to prove themselves. So I've always given people the benefit of the doubt. I always let the crazy people explain themselves because I don't like writing people off as crazy. A lot of people think I'm crazy, but I'm able to explain shit. So the simulation of all this is like doesn't comes down to some shit. I heard somebody say something because I'll give an example. The other day, yesterday at work, somebody goes, we're talking about this one area. One of the supervisors goes, what you know about that area? And he started telling us a story about how he was a young man and he got hired to go be part of the yacht club back in the day. So he's telling us this stuff. Right away, the kid that's about 10 to 14 years younger than me, he goes, oh yeah, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You know what I'm saying? So he says this, and then today we're talking about all this stuff. One of the one of the leads, I'll say, one of the guys that we work with that's a lead, he goes, you like scary movies? He starts breaking down this new scary movie that's coming out, starts telling all this stuff, all the lore that's going behind it. He said, yeah, they got holy water at the door of the movies because there's some stuff there that's kind of disturbing, and the holy water has nothing to do with the people that have something to do with the movie, nothing to do with the theaters. It's just people there just to be like, hey, these motherfuckers gonna need some holy water, which is kind of funny. But it's also like that's actually good advertising either way, you know whether it's their intention or not. So we started talking about that, and I started telling him like, man, what do you believe on like a spiritual level or a dream state level? Because a lot of that stuff is relative. So I started thinking, I started telling my story about like, having, like you believe in premonitions and stuff. So I started talking about that. I was like, 2001, I was in first grade. I literally, our teacher had us lined up. I was literally looking at her. She was explaining something to some people that messed up the poem or something like that, the song or whatever. I'm looking at behind her desk. I blink. I see behind her desk all the stuff on the floor. I'm like, why is all this stuff on the floor? I blink again, everything's back to normal. I'm like, that was weird. I don't know why I just saw that. I didn't at the time. I didn't understand that was like I guess like a vision or just like you just see things, right? Out of nowhere, the whole school just starts going under an earthquake. We're all running under the desk. We're under our desk for like about, I don't know, let's give or take 1 or 2 hours, something like that, and we finally come up. And when I look at my teacher's desk, like her fixing her things at her desk, she starts reaching for things. It's basically everything that fell down was on the ground that I had seen in that little vision real quick. So I was like, I don't know if I necessarily believe premonitions because that's really the only one I've ever had, but I consistently have these deja vus. I started talking about, I was like, yeah, ever since I've been at this new work joint, at this new workplace, I've been seeing faces, I've been seeing people I don't know where I know you guys from, but I recognize these faces and stuff. You know what I mean? So I just start recognizing, like, I know this person's face. I know this person's, I've seen this person before. I literally, like I said, my first week of work, I'm standing right there. Supervisors is talking all that stuff on the side, like, kind of talking amongst themselves. I don't really know what's going on. However, I just randomly, like, something told me, like, I remember hearing them just speaking about something. I looked to my left. Something told me, like, look to your left. So I look to my left. Guys that works in the department next door. I see this guy just, clocking in, if not clocking out, for whatever reason. And I'm just looking at him at the machine, like, I don't even know. Like, the first time I seen that scene of him just at the machine, you understand? The first time I seen him there, I didn't even understand what he was doing. But now that I'm here intentionally, presently at this workplace, I understand what he's doing at the machine, clocking in and out and messing around with the, what I'm saying, the time, whatever you call it, the punch in, punch out, whatever thing. So he's over at the machine. So I started telling people that. I was telling people the same thing, man. I was like, yo, man, I'm like, this is I started telling people the same thing. I was like, yeah, this is people I be seeing here, stuff I've seen before. I don't know how to explain it, and I'm not saying this in a good or bad way. It's just something I noticed, something I see. So I can't really make a I can't really make anything about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. It's really interesting, man. Like in terms of the simulation of all this. What's going on, Lilith? How you doing? I don't even know. I don't even know what that reference is, but I appreciate you dropping in. Triple S, thank you for dropping in. Hold on, let me see. Did I miss something? Yeah, I don't even know what the reference is, bro. I appreciate you being here. But no, I started thinking, so I was like, you know, as we were talking to, there's someone she's been there a little longer than me, a couple weeks longer than me, but there's another dude who's been there working for a year. So we started talking, and he was like, yeah, man, it does have that simulation feeling. It does have like like you've been here before, you went through that cycle. And I was like, shit, last time I went through like a clear feeling of a cycle was when I was off like brownies and edibles and shit. You know what I'm saying? I was off like 8 or 9 of them. Because I don't remember how many I ate. I just remember I kept grabbing like one or two at a time, just eating them. And I started handing dude the plate like, boom, you know what I mean? So that's when I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. So my bad. Anyway, the point I was making was that what's it called? The point I was making was that what do you call this? The like being that high on that high of a level, just being that burnt, like I started seeing the world from like how do you explain this? You ever put like you ever seen when like a film is inside of like a you have a film inside of like reels of film, and then you see it slowly, like the panels slowly going down, so you can actually see the panels. You know what I mean? When you see that stuff, that's how life started to feel. That's how slow things were moving. It was like panels of life slowly happening. I'm literally staring at my friends on the couch. I'm literally staring at the boom, and I'm like, either I'm blinking this slow, or it's really just happening this slow. Where like I'm realizing all this stuff is like you can slow down time and you can pinpoint that like, yeah, I've been through this cycle before and I don't need to do it no more. So I had a moment like that. That's kind of how high I was. At the same time, I fell asleep in that same chair at my friend's house. Damn near when I opened my eyes up, I'm astral projecting low key, looking down at the roof of his house. So I'm looking at it. So it's like all these little moments where I'm like, yo, you start tapping into this thing, start seeing life from a different lens. I mean, a lot of things are connected. If not, you have versions of yourself outside of yourself, out of body experiences outside of yourself, all in different areas and corners and regions and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm trying to say is like this is back to this is mainly I'm continuing to speak um because like what do you call this, people that jump in from the playback and stuff, they're gonna wonder like why was it boop boop boop, why was it referenced the way it is or whatever, why is it titled the way it is, why is the title of this video that, and this is more recent stuff that's been happening just in work time and everything. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's where the talk is coming from. Hold on, let me catch up on chat. What's going on with y'all, man? Hold on. Lilith is like, I was laughing because he 100% does not, but it was funny. I don't even know the reference. Uh, do I know in hyphen or any pen? I don't even, bro. I don't know these people. I don't be on social media like that. I'm only on YouTube, minding my own, And I go to work and then I meet with people and that's it. I just be living my life. Graydon, what's going on with you, bro? Graydon, I tapped in yesterday. I'm really happy to see your live streams, man. Hey, Ben, I just popping in to say hi. I'm on a trip. Oh, you're on a trip in Texas and at a football game. My cousin is about to march on the field too. Bye. All right, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for dropping in. Thank you for being here, Graydon. If you guys don't know, Graydon, coin underscore collector underscore Grady. Graydon collects coins, and he, I think yesterday, had 2 coins. Okay, actually, don't quote me on this, but he had 2 rare coins, and then he was showing one that was like a head turned in a different direction. I don't know how to explain it, but it was an older coin basically that was in a pile. So sometimes people get those rolls because those things get mixed up in there, to my understanding, and then he gets like those rare coins from it. So I would say check that out. Lilith goes, I do. He does have the same nose though. I don't know these people, man. Both handsome. Hey, I appreciate it. Appreciate it, Lilith. You know. Lilith, I'm gonna tell you something funny, man. I remember getting like I don't know if this is wrong, but like I remember getting told like I was handsome or like whatever when I was young, like as a kid, and like my self esteem was fucked up, and like I was so used to like having a fight all the time that like I just thought people were fucking with me at times. I just thought like, man, people just want to start some shit with me, so I'm gonna have to swing back. That's what I kept thinking, and then it got even weird when I used to go to the gym because mind you, I was like 12 years old. So it's interesting because 12 years old, going to the gym, and then I'm hearing like these women, these older women, kind of making these comments like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like older women making comments about me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't trust nobody. I'm like a preteen slash teenager, like I don't trust nobody, bro. I'm out here just working out. I'm trying to be a pro. Fuck all this, bro. I'm just gonna train. What's going on? What? But yeah, you got to Google when you get done with the live. I'm scared to look it up. I might not. I mean, I don't know if I remember it. To be honest with you, I don't know if I remember it. But we'll see. I thought that too growing up. That about 21, I realized I was drop dead. Hey, had them cougars after. That's what I'm saying, man. Lilith, like to this day, them goddamn cougars and the fucking milfs just be on me, and I'm like, I'm not really denying it. I'm like, cool, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Grab dinner or just something. Because the thing is, a lot of times, like the cougars and the milfs, like they had been through so much already, where they're just kind of like, you know what, man. It's not necessarily settling down, but it's like, you know what, man. I'm not gonna do a whole lot. Like when they with me, they just with me. They just kind of present because they're not expecting too much because they had already fucked up before. You know what I'm saying? Which is funny as hell. Get it? I just got done telling JD last time I was at this park on the live stream. I was like, yo, sometimes like yeah, you want a certain destination and whatnot. That you want a certain like destination, but at the same time, if the hose is available, go ahead and go at it. You know what I mean? Just why not? That's the way I look at it. Um, get it, sir. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about it sometimes, man. There be hoes here and there. I was getting eyed down by a young hoe today at the wait, where was I at? I ain't gonna say where I was at. Antonio Crowell, here we go. Paul said in the scripture, although I'm absent in the flesh and present with the Lord and the Spirit. If that ain't a deja vu encounter, then I don't know what nothing is. I'm saying, bro. I'm saying it's something about something. It's something about something. And and not even in my own lifetime, there's evidence of things related to this deja vu slash simulation slash some, you know, extra, 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 all type of things going on in other people's lives that were just like, it's just, because I'll give an example. Like, I'll give you a small thing. Like one time I was thinking about my cousin. I was just thinking like, man, I might have to call her and see how she's doing because like I'm on the way there or whatever. Like I'm in her area. I just want to see if she's there. I happen to be in the city town where she was working at, finishing up an appointment, and then I'm calling like, hey, I'm about to go visit her at her job. I call her and she's at the house. So she's like, I was just thinking about you, and then you called me. I was like, well, that's God. Like, what else you want me to tell you, bro? That's God right there. Like, nothing else about it, man. It's like, but she's like, oh, I'm not even at work. But it's funny you're thinking about me because I'm at the house. So I guess I'm going to the house. Came to the house and we just hung out. But yeah, but Lilith says that they are drop dead gorgeous. I believe it. I'm just going based off of the. I could barely zoom in on the picture, Lilith. I'm going based off of that. And then you told me you was half Boricua, half Irish. I was like, damn, that's got to be fine. So I believe in you too when you say that. But it's funny because it is kind of crazy to think like when you're young, you don't be believing that shit, and it does take to a certain point. And then some people actually start taking advantage of the situation, which is crazy. Your ego is huge now. What about now? Auntie J, welcome back. Welcome back, Auntie J. Yeah, what do you think about now? You think your ego is still huge with all that stuff? But on that same note, we got the La Flor Dominicana, Double Liguero. Double Liguero. Am I saying that correct? Absolutely unhinged. You was throwing yourself out there, huh? Tell the truth, Lil. Tell the truth. You was just like, you know what? Anybody can. No, I don't know. I'm going too far with that. But you know what I'm trying to say. I remember you, Auntie Jay. You didn't have to. They were just showing up, huh? You were just getting hit on everywhere. It happens. That's the thing with women is like, y'all could just stand there. There was a I am rude as fuck outside of lives. I believe it. I believe you. I believe you. I saw a beautiful girl in the back of the bus sitting with me today, and I thought about it to myself. I was like, do I want to talk to her? I just want to see what her mannerisms are for some reason from a distance. I just part of me is just like, she looked good and like rare or whatever. She looked like different than the usual beautiful you see. She kind of just seemed like she was to herself. She minded her own. She dressed a certain way where she wasn't revealing too much, but she had a little bit of body and like her face was cute. Well, you could tell she took care of her hair and all that stuff. So what's interesting is just I was looking at her, I was like, let me just observe to see if she give a fuck about the world around her and stuff like that. But I'm one of those where like if I'm too much in my brain, like I don't act. But if I'm in motion, I just act. You know what I mean? I'm one of those. It's hard to really explain. sometimes certain things are like way more important. Like sometimes I'll be on the way to do a live stream and I pass by beautiful women and then I'm just like, man, fuck them. I gotta do my live stream. You know what I mean? Like that's the way my mind be working. There be times I'll be on the way to the gym and I see a beautiful woman and I'm like, well, fuck her. I gotta go to the gym and work out first. Like I don't want my priorities to get mixed. Yeah, I'm one of those. Like I be trying to, you know, like fuck them sometimes. It be feeling funny because it's like, yo, you should have went there and cracked it or said something. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, you know what's more important? The live stream and working out. You're a good looking dude, man. I just showed you to my husband. He said the same thing. Oh man, I appreciate both you guys, man. I appreciate both you guys. Females who don't show a lot of body are way more beautiful. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's interesting because it's like there be some women that like, and I don't say this disrespectfully. I met one of my friends that I used to work with. She's from I don't remember. I think she was Syrian, or was she Syrian, or I don't remember exactly where she's from, or Afghani. I don't remember exactly, but she was beautiful, man. She was beautiful, man. She was just like, you know. But again, you can only she had the hijab and she had the head wrap or whatever, and then the body thing, and she was kind of covering things up. So, but she wasn't like thick or anything, but just the fact that like the way we conversed, she had a beautiful soul, but at the same time, she was just beautiful, like in general. You know what I'm saying? SSS, you're Muslim too? How you doing, man? What's how do I say it, bro? How do I say salam alaikum? But yeah, am I saying that correctly? Peace be with you, or salam? I don't really know I don't be knowing the language like that. My bad, my bad. So let me know if I'm saying things wrong. But yeah, she was beautiful. I didn't see her after that because she was kind of a student and she was only there during the COVID time, and this was when I worked at the hospital. When you answer the phone and you was just thinking about the person, you actually just read that person's mind. It's hard to comprehend, but it's true. No, you know what? I don't. That's the other thing, Antonio. I don't really try to comprehend it. Like a lot of that stuff, there's something to it, and it's more of an understanding, if not an overstanding, than it is an explanation. You know what I mean? It's just you just get it. You love wintertime. What's under the coat? No one knows. But shit, you know what's under the coat? Sometimes you be seeing curves. That's the thing. You be seeing like curves, Lilith, under them curves. Some girls just kept talking about that thick old cougar grandma looking lady that I be seeing at the workplace. I might have to just say what's up and be like, what's going on? But then I don't know Spanish like that, so I have to go say some Spanish words like, what's going on with you? How old are you? Oh, you over this? What? I might have to say something. Syrian women have the most beautiful. That's what it was. She did have very beautiful eyes. You're right. That's correct. It's good. Hey, Auntie J, it's the mystery and also it's the longevity. They see more of them. This is fair too. There have been some women though that will wear multiple layers and then they do host shit with like the specific person. I said this last time where I was like, you got to remember that there are some, like, I'm not saying every woman's a hoe, but there are certain women that there's some women that people will what do you call this? Um, that they'll hold for. You know what I mean? Like they'll go out of their way for that shit. I've seen it a lot where like I've dealt with consistent like it'll be like a friend's ex or like a friend's current girlfriend or like a friend's wife will always be hitting on me and shit like that. And I'm like, yo, what type of shit is this? You know what I mean? Like why are they doing this? And some dude will be tripping. I'm like, man, you might have to check her. Don't be talking to me like that, man. She's tripping right now. You'll ask her to teach you Spanish. That's how she fair. I'm gonna just hit her with the buenos dias because I work in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Buenos dias. Hey, my Spanish ain't that great. You might have to teach me something every day. Boom. Every time I show up and then just talk to her. You're weak about the cougar grandma. Yeah, she look kind of bad though. She just thick. You know what I'm saying? She got the she's chubby. I like it like that. Not too much because I'm only like 5'5". I can only handle so much in terms of the big women. But I fuck with them because sometimes you want to just carry them joints. You trying to put them up, but if they're big, you can't do much with that. Like damn, I'm so used to carrying these, but I can't even do because she's hella big. So what am I gonna do? You're a big engine. What does that mean? What are you talking about, bro? Do you believe you can read another's mind? Well, if you're thinking about a person that just called you, how else could it be but read that person's mind? So I on that hold on, let me show you. I'll show what that is. In that same regard, Antonio, this is one thing I thought about that I learned for myself personally. If I'm thinking about someone and I'm thinking about them negatively, like an argument I might want to have with them or that I've had with them in the past, whatever. If I'm thinking about someone in a bad or angry way, I actually just call that person just to see how they're doing because I know in my heart I don't feel that way. I know because it's like damn, I'm beefing with this loved one, and I know that I feel like I'm angry with them, like I'm not supposed to talk to them. Sometimes I just call them, and then there'll be moments where I've called and text people, and then I even look back at the last text that was sent. If it's me and there's no response, if it's me and I'm left unread, and if it's me who made the call and I get no calls back, but I get excuses, I just leave that person alone and I give them the time to hit me back instead. So I be thinking about that shit in that way. Yeah. So there's a lot of big connections. I wish it was a little bit taller. You wish it was a baller big. You know what's funny? I don't think I feel like after that song came out, he doesn't wish he was a little bit taller anymore. He just wish he had another single, low key. But shout out to Skilo. Shout out to Skilo. My bad, I missed a bit of this. A more cushion for whatever your needs are. And moms and up always have shit you need in their Oh my god, that's funny to think about. Yeah, no, I had that one time. I had a dream where I woke up from a dream and I woke up still in another dream. I woke up in my dream, then woke up again. Walked up. Yeah, I got you. Two dreams and one. But then I don't believe dreams are a figment of our imagination. A lot of that should be some form of connection. I couldn't really explain it because there's some shadow world shit, and then I'm trying to say like I mean, you get what I'm talking about. Like there's something to it. I don't know how to explain it, Antonio. Big, which was I read that already. I wasn't talking necessarily about Muslim females who are modest. Oh yeah, yeah, but look good. So Auntie J, my thing with it was like, um, I that's what I'm saying. I even knew girls that dressed like that, like very modest and conservatively or whatever the word is. But the thing about it was, how to explain this is like, again, the ones that I've met that are like that, they still have that one guy that they hope for, one or two types of guys, if not one or two specific guys that they hope for. You know what I mean? So that's just my personal experience. So it's just like I dated a girl like that, and she was the biggest hope for me. And then I dated another girl like that that really didn't have that much love for me, but I realized she was still kind of missing someone else, which is really interesting. So again, like I say, I don't want to be rude and act like, oh, every girl's a hoe, but it's like every girl has like a kind of guy, if not a specific guy, if not one or two that they really love like fucking with. You know what I mean? And if you don't like, I'm not gonna say you don't believe me, but it's like you even have people like I'll give you an example. Porn star Asa Akira, she has a podcast and she's done podcast episodes where she talks about she finally got back with her high school sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? So as much as she was doing all this porn stuff, she went back to her high school sweetheart and she's just kind of dedicated with him. And then she's just doing business shit now. You know what I mean? Because she was just like she gonna slut it out for him, but even though she was doing some hoe ass porn stuff. No disrespect to the porn industry, but you get what I'm trying to say. But let me know if that makes sense. I mean, it might not make sense, but it's just like I've always been in the position where I've had these random girls always just flirt with me, trying to get points with me and weird shit, and it's really interesting. It's just like I don't, I try to live righteously, so it's hard for me to resist at times. But at the same time, I'm like, that's the homie's ex or the homie's wife or something. I'm like, back the fuck up, bitch. Like I ain't doing that shit. I wish I had more songs instead of making a hit and a half and disappear. But here's the thing, big. Sometimes all you need is one hit. If you got one hit and you could just live off that forever, because I swear to God, every basketball game I go to, every sporting event, just every DJ plays Skilo at least one time at every event. Skilo gets played at least once every NBA game. So he's getting money. He's getting checks. Hopefully he has at least more than 50% of his publishing. So he's getting paid. Auntie J goes, or my bad. Antonio Crowell, know what I meant is that you're thinking of a person, your telephone rings, and it's the person that you were thinking of. Were you not reading that person's mind? I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not. That's the thing. I'm not saying I'm not reading their mind. You know what I mean? What's going on, Rob? Welcome in, Rob. Damn, not gonna lie, I haven't come across girls like that. Auntie J, and that's the thing is like you're talking about a particular type of red flag female. No, 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 they're not even red flags. It's just who they are. I'm saying like I have a high respect and love for women in general, but even the ones that come across as very conservative and respectful and stuff, they find that one guy that either turns them out, if not the one guy that they actually like, and they're willing to hoe for them. They're willing to just go out of, they'll break the rules for them. And I've been the guy that like a female will break the rules for. So like that's why I just know that. You know what I mean? I've been like, that's what I'm saying. I've hung out with, like I've been in spaces where like I've trained and worked out, and then there's a girl that's in proximity to the training and workout and stuff, and she's coming around and she's married and shit. And I know her kids and I know her husband. And then I seen her again randomly on Father's Day, and I'm buying shit for my dad on Father's Day. I see her, and then right away she's like, "How you doing? How's it going? Oh my God, did you know I've been divorced now?" Like right away she just tries to get straight into it. She's talking about she's working on her house. She's insinuating how she's trying to invite me to go see her new house and all this weird shit. And I'm just like, yo, you wasn't like this, but you was waiting for that moment to just break them rules for me. You know what I mean? Because she was always like that with me. Are you talking about females who cheat? Am I talking about females who cheat? I'm talking about females. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, that's what I'm saying. Some females will find that guy and then they'll be with them. Does that make sense? That's why I brought up Asa Akira, because it's like she found the guy she wanted to be with. She ended up being with that guy, if that makes sense. But my bad. What I miss? Big. Am I Muslim? I'm not Muslim. I'm not religious at all. Yo, Ben, what's up? Oh yeah, what's up, Rob? Thanks for dropping in. Antonio, like you, I have a lot of spiritual encounters as well. A guy that I didn't know too well in my dream told me he was 39 when I went and asked him. He showed me his identification card and he was 30. Oh, interesting. I like rule breakers. Salam, yeah. Salam. Peace. Yeah, man. But I'm again, like I'm not saying but everyone is like that. Like regardless of the sex, but realistically, with women, it's like that. Like I've just noticed it from my perspective because that's what I've seen. If she's only with you and loyal to you, why is it bad? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is like I've met girls that will sit there and they'll find a guy to break the rules with. So it's like either they have an outlook of a certain guy or there's a certain type of person. That's just what I've seen. If she's, wait, am I reading that correctly? If she's only with you and loyal to you, why is it bad? There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's essentially what you want. What I'm saying is like if you find a girl that'll sit there and break the rules, um, for you, probably worth keeping around because like that means she really loves you. It's like you ever talk to a girl and like maybe she's not feeling you. She wants you to do a little more. She wants you to do a little less. Maybe you're doing too much, and then she can clearly text you back. She can clearly call you back, but she doesn't. But she can. She can. She can. But then there's girls who will quickly just always break the rules. They'll be at work, not supposed to be on their phone, and they'll text you. They'll be at work, not supposed to be on the phone. They'll call you. They'll break the rules. They'll be at church. They'll walk out of church real quick. I just thought about you. Shit like that. They'll be with family. They'll be there with what do you call this? They'll be visiting a relative in the hospital, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm just with my mom right now, but I just want to see how you're doing. Hopefully you're okay too. Like shit like that. Like they'll just like shit like does that make sense? They'll break the rules. They'll go out of the whatever for you, and that's stuff like that is very. You got to be mindful of stuff like that. You can be the type of guy that takes advantage of the situation, or you can be very mindful, like, oh, this girl got some love for me. I'm gonna be very mindful of it. I'm gonna nurture that, and I'm gonna be a man about it. You know what I'm saying? It's like little things like that. It takes a minute for a lot of us guys because we grow slower than women. Women, they wise up fast and shit. But you know what I'm trying to say, Lilith? It's like that sometimes. I missed it. Even when men do it, that's what I'm saying. It's interesting, right? Because like the thing is, you want someone who's principled and shit, which is fair. It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like you doing the Beatles? I'm like, go tend to your stuff. But what I'm saying is, like, even at work, let's say I'm at work and I pretty much got everything done, and I go on my phone real quick. I'm done on my phone. I go on my phone real quick, see how she's doing. It's like that. Does that make sense? Feels like love bombing. But see that's the women's perspective. So I understand what you're saying. For dudes, we love that shit. Talking about the Beatles. Why are you talking about girls who wait only until marriage and break the rules for the one guy? That can happen too. That's fair too, though. That's fair too, though. I've seen that sometimes. But yeah, there'd be girls that can't wait to exercise that fantasy, which is crazy, which is wild. Feels like, oh, I read that. Okay, feels like love bombing. Like Rob. Oh, hold on. Yeah, but and no, big. I'm Filipino. I'm just Filipino. You're so confused right now. It's Auntie J. It's not confusing. It's like I've it. everyone, I'm not gonna say everyone, but almost every girl I've met will have a dude that they break the rules with, if not the idea of a guy that they'll break the rules with. Does that make sense? So, and and like when I say rules, they will go out of their way for that shit. They go out of their own way. They'll go out of their own whatever. It is kind of like what Lilith is saying. It is the love bombing aspect, which is really interesting because I've seen that a lot. I've seen girls that put so much energy into me, and then the moment they snap, you realize how much love they don't have for themselves because that kind of bad energy comes out as well. So you're like, oh, you put so much into me because you don't want to deal with yourself. You know what I mean? So then you realize when you start talking to them, and you're like, you don't want to deal with yourself. I get it. My bad. What I miss? What I miss? Soy Pinoy Pride. I just, you know what's funny? I just got done watching the Marshawn Lynch podcast with Doug Baldwin, and then they had a Filipino moment in the beginning, which is funny as hell. You love the Philippines. Do your grandparents or older ancestors of yours speak Spanish? Nobody speaks Spanish over there. I mean, Spanish is part of the language, but like, we're one of the few colonized places from Spain that we don't really speak Spanish. I'll give you an example. Like, if you say like chinador, that's the fork, right? Chinador is the fork. If you say cuarto is the room. You know what I mean? So these are all man-made things. Cuarto is the room. All the man-made things, there was no idea of a room. There was no idea of an isolating room. Everything was just kind of spatial awareness. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing about Philippine language is like there's at least at right now, even to this day, at minimum 80 different dialects. There's like 80 different dialects on the island. So because there's so many different languages and dialects and different words over there, there was no way that they could have necessarily colonized them, if that makes sense. But yeah, let me know if that makes sense. Not colonizing them language wise and even fighting wise. That's a whole, it's a myth in itself because there's a lot of fighting history that from the past 400 years that even correlate into this era of time. But that's a whole nother story. What's up, JD? JD's in the house. Love bombing is a huge red flag. Great for crazy one night stand. Not great for a long term. Are you talking about people you're not in a relationship with, but they still do the most for you? Are you talking? Wait, what? Talking about people who you're not in a relationship with, but they still do the most for you. It's both. I've seen both. I've had a homegirl that I didn't like. Again, I'm oblivious to certain shit, so it's like it'll be like how do you explain this? My homegirl used to just love bomb me sometimes, and I didn't really understand it. I was like, why is she doing all this? But I just come to find out she just loves me. You know what I'm saying? Um, and then I had a girlfriend that did the same thing, but in the same girlfriend, it's like when I started to talk to her and confront her about stuff, I was like, hey man, let's just like let's talk about this. Let's, I didn't want her to confront herself necessarily, but I wanted to just point out an action about herself that was a little disrespectful. And then she just fucking snapped on me. So all of this like love bombing that she did for me went away, and the love bombing flipped real quick and to just shit talking me, which is crazy. The fuck is love bombing? Love bombing is just doing the most for somebody and not for yourself, really. That's really all it is, bro. Big, but my bad. I'm missing a lot of the chat. Do I speak any Filipino dialect or something? Big, you know what's interesting is I spoke Ilocano growing up in my household to the point where like when I went to school and then there were certain English words that sounded like Ilocano, it kind of threw me off. But then other Filipino kids and parents would talk to me in Tagalog, which is the supposed national language of the majority of the islands. And when they spoke to me in Tagalog, I was like, I don't know what the fuck you're saying. Like, I don't know what's going on. But why you're saying it's bad or negative? Nobody said it was, Auntie J, nobody said it was bad or negative. That's the thing. Nobody said it was bad or negative. It's just an observation that, like, that's the thing. Nobody here said it's bad or negative. I don't want anyone, like, if Lilith is saying it's a red flag, that's Lilith's words. But I'm just saying it's just an observation that I've made that women will go out of their way for, it's an emotional thing. They'll go out of their way for a certain guy, a certain type of guy, or a very specific one. That's just what I've seen. And again, I've had that with like I said, with this particular homegirl, it just felt like she hated me when I first met her. And then as time grew, she had all this love for me out of nowhere, and it fucked me up. I was like, where's this coming from? Like, I don't understand where this is coming from. But she just started to learn about me or got to know me a little more, and then more people just spoke about me to her, and she would speak about me outside of it, and she just thought she loved me to a high degree, and she didn't really know me that well, and it was just weird like that. But it happens in that way. I've had it like all the time with women, which is weird because it's like it's just the way you carry yourself, bro. Philippines is like the best country to travel to, except to Manila for some reason, in my opinion. Manila is interesting because Manila is like, how do I explain it? It's like LA times 10. I've never been to LA, but it's almost like LA times 10, where it's like you have a bit of, it's kind of gone now, but there's like smog in the country. or smog in the city. You know what I mean? From all the cars and shit, it's starting to go away. But then like it's just so super congested, and then you have the flip of good and bad. You know what I mean? Um, okay. So it's really interesting. But Manila, I like it. I met a lot of great people over there, a lot of beautiful people over there. Um, love bomb usually occurs after someone has exhibited abusive or negative behavior towards you in an attempt to manipulate or cover for said behavior. That's fair. That's very fair because that's exactly what this person that I'm describing was like. Was very fucking manipulative. Not always, but most of the time. That's fair too. Um, that's why. Yep. And that is fair for like why it's a negative thing. You know what I mean? That's that because like a lot of times people will do that. I've had people like love bomb, and then at some point it's really interesting because what's it called? How to explain this? Someone will love bomb, and then when the shit hits the fan, it'd be like, "Remember when I did this for you? Remember when I did that for you?" So I've had that before, which is crazy. My bad, Rob. I lost a Madden game to Jay Cinco. I might post a video. I don't know who Jay Cinco is. You got to break that down for me, Rob. I said it was okay. It's Filipino Asian. I'm half Puerto Rican and half Afro American. Bottom line, we are one big family, people of color. I believe that too, Antonio Crowell. Antonio, let me know if you want to get my thoughts on this because I'll give you an example, Antonio. Let me do this. Let me give you an example, Antonio. So in North America, the continent of North America, you have Mexico, you have Puerto Rico, you have Jamaica, you have Montserrat, you have Barbados. You know, am I saying everything? Like, you know, I'm naming most of the shit here, right? You have Guatemalan, but a lot of those people don't get called American. Canadians are in Canada. They're not. They don't get necessarily called American, but they're in North America, right? In Europe, no one really call no white people really call themselves European necessarily. They kind of very specifically say, "Oh, we can tell you're from Germany. Oh, you're from the UK." Oh, you know what I'm saying? They kind of know where certain people are from. Welsh, Irish. You know, they get very specific. In Asia, everyone kind of just gets lumped up as Asian. A lot of us are mixed. I think Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia are probably the most mixed areas. But I will say, like historically, like when I personally see how Asians treat Filipino people, they don't get treated fairly. Like we're on the same plane of Asians. You know what I'm saying? So part of me is like very hesitant to call us Asians. I'd rather just have the respect of just calling us Filipino, if that makes sense. Just call us straight up Filipino. I don't want to belong to the Asian stuff until the disrespect goes away. Because there's a lot of like when you think about Filipino people around the world, they're nurses and shit. They take care of a lot of people around the world. They do a lot of like groundwork shit, EVS level, environmental service level shit for people, if not nurse level shit. They do a lot of groundwork for people. Filipinos are like the Mexicans of the Eastern Hemisphere. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, because Mexicans be everywhere, just putting in work, type shit. And there's a lot of correlation between the Castilian family of Spain that was doing a lot of slave trade between Filipino and Mexico. So we are kind of related to Mexicans in a certain way. Some of us, you know what I'm saying? So I personally just don't put Filipinos in the Asian group. And the thing is, they are an island on the Pacific, but we're just not as big as the Polynesians in terms of size. But we look a lot like them. We just look like the smaller cousins of them. But the other thing is, Japan is a country that is an island country, but they don't get called Pacific Islanders, even though they're in the Pacific Ocean, just like us. And it comes down to skin tone. You know, the motherfuckers ain't brown enough on a normal basis, and it's shit like that that like all the weird colorism shit. You know, like it be dividing us because Japanese people get accepted as Asians. We don't necessarily get treated as Asians. Japanese people don't get called Pacific Islanders, even though they're an island on the Pacific. You see, I'm trying to say all this weird mumbo jumbo shit. So I just respect like if someone tells me the country, if not the dialect, if not the culture they come from, I'll try to go specifically to that as a friend, talk to them. So hopefully that makes sense to you, Antonio. Let me know if that makes sense to you. I do believe that we are one big family. There's a lot of mishaps and world shit that happen. You get what I'm trying to say. He said when he stream next, he going to play me again. Supposedly, I hope the best for that, Rob. Let me know. Let me know, bro. What is a healthy relationship to you? Curious. A healthy relationship to me. Um, really what it is like from my personal perspective, I just want healthy relation like a healthy relationship is just like a someone who has enough respect to have a healthy conversation, which is rare. You know what I mean? Sometimes like our egos get in the way of each other. So if you can have a healthy enough conversation down the line, you'll have a long-term healthy relationship. You have those healthy conversations and healthy respect in the long run, you know what I'm saying? And respect to put your ego on the side to really listen to your partner. That's a healthy relationship. It's really just communication at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I like to see that, Rob. Aiden Ross, homie, a famous Twitch streamer. Got you. Lilith, yeah, it's negative because it's all fake, but I'm confused by what the guy's saying. I'll wait for his response. Oh, you talking about the bro? Yeah, okay. Hopefully I answered that. I get you, Jay. I just wanted to explain to you why I said it the way I did. Hope that. Oh, got you, got you. But yeah, hopefully that helps too, Antonio Crowell. It's like you know, because they exist within a continent. It's like I guess they are, I guess. But then it's like when you think about how everyone in that continent treats each other and the powers that be in that continent, whether that be China, Japan, or Korea, like those are the three kind of powerhouses in that continent. They don't really treat us like Asians. Like they're in our country, just like setting up businesses and not giving a fuck about all the plastic pollution and all the other bullshit that happens there. So it's like they're just here setting shit up, not caring. I mean, in the Philippines is what I'm trying to say. So we don't really get treated like that. And then again, even here, it's like I don't know how to explain this, but like certain Asian women, when they take me home to meet their parents, it's almost like I get treated like when like an Asian girl brings a black guy home type shit. And I'm like, oh, that's what that feels like. That's the weird like hesitancy and like she's over explaining why I'm a good person or why it's weird shit. It's just like what the fuck did I do? But it's just something like there's a perception that has to be explained or something weird. It's kind of strange. Yes, Lilith, I understand what you said about love bombs and real love, and love bombs is too very. Yeah, but Auntie J, let me know if what I'm saying makes sense, man. I'm just trying to, make sense of all this stuff. Everyone's asking me a lot of questions. Hopefully I'm answering these things correctly. But because of the disrespect, I just want my Filipino people to have the respect to just be recognized as straight up Filipinos. Like the this isn't to pretend like we're better or we're worse than anyone. What I'm trying to say is like I think that we just deserve that respect in that conversation where it's just like for what we've done historically for a lot of people just in general, especially in this time and generation and era. I just really wish that like we can get that respect. I don't even say that from a place of we're better than. No, none of that. We're not better than no one. We're just human and we try to conduct ourselves as human beings culturally. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, cause I got love. Like my ex was Korean. My ex was Korean and she was part Korean and black, and I loved her. You know what I'm saying? And it's like my what's it called? Some of my homies was like Japanese, Chinese here, and like you meet different people from different shit. You know what I'm trying to say, Antonio? So that's just where I'm coming from. Bro, we have some Filipinos in Spain because of colonization, and they're always so chill. Word, I heard about that, big. Yeah. Hey, big. So I don't know if you know this, but we have a fighting style in the Philippines called Eskrima and Arnis. Eskrima is like stick fighting mixed with swords. Arnis is just straight up sword fighting. It's kind of the same. But it's funny because you got these like back in the colonization days, saying back in the colonization days, they had Spain would go to the Philippines, they'd find some of the best warriors. Like, yo, y'all throwing hands, y'all throwing swords, we ain't fucking with y'all. However, we can give you guys a job in Spain. Like, we don't want to fuck with this area. We just want to whatever, glaze it over, pause, and just whatever. So then what ended up happening was the actual guards at the Spanish palaces or the Spanish castles in Spain, they started shipping these Filipinos there. So you got like these dudes that were like 5'2", black as shit. Some of them had afro, some of them had straight hair like me. And like these dudes 5'2" with just swords and just hitting the rhythm with the swords, just bop, 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 bop. You know what I'm saying? Just hitting them. If you walk up to the castle the wrong way, they was fucking you up. Motherfucker be 5'2", just throwing hands. This shit's funny as hell. But that's like a historic fact that like Spain was using uh not necessarily slaves, but like employed warriors from the Philippines to guard the fucking castle. This shit's hilarious. So it's like it's there, bro. It really be there. Antonio Crowell, yeah, thank you too, man. Appreciate it. Filipinos make the best. Do you think Filipinos make the best food, man? I gotta think about that. I gotta think about that for 1 second. I don't know who makes the best food. I love Filipino food, but I don't know, man. Like I think Italians got it figured out. I think Italians make some good ass food, man. Like I want to try Italian food at the source in Italy. That's just me. But I really fuck with like I'm secretly a fat guy. Like I like pasta and pizza and shit, you know. So I want to try that shit at the source. I love Korean stuff. Squid Game. Squid Game was. I only seen season 1, and I didn't see the other 2. I guess. I think Filipinos look young forever. You know who looks young forever is what is it? Obviously, black people don't age, but it's like there's another group of people that don't really age. I forget who they are. It's like an island. Fuck, I don't remember this shit. It's not. It's Jamaica's one of those places too where people don't really age. Bro, it's gonna bug me. There's a couple places like that. Ethiopia's like that. Ethiopia's another place. Ethiopia and Eritrea, those people don't really age. And then like, there's another. Italians are kind of like that too. Actually, you said you're not a fan of Italian, Lilith. Really, food? You're not a fan of Italian food? What is going on? Yeah, being racist and judgmental. but and judgmental. But I always say there's good and bad people in every. Yeah, that's facts, man. And my thing about it, Antonio, is like it be your own people that hate on you. That's the fucked up part. So it's just like some of the people I really wanted to knock out and beat the shit out of. It's like there were Filipino people that got real comfortable, try to get under my skin, and started talking to me a certain way. And I was like, I didn't grow up with you. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with my brother. Me and my brother, we throw hands with each other from time to time. We don't do it no more because we're older. But it's like we used to do that shit because we was brothers and we was comfortable. But these people talk to me like they my brother. And I was like, damn, I might have to really just whoop whop somebody head in. But it's like, it be your own people. It's fucked up. They get real comfortable sometimes. But it's always your own people that really wanna, you know. That's another thing, man. We gotta stop the self hate with each other, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything, man. Everything from just all peoples. I've seen my black friends hate on each other, man, and that shit used to break my heart. I was like, man, y'all need to stop because this shit gonna get out of hand, and it used to get out of hand. I said, bring motherfuckers back here. Like, you guys need to stop this shit right now. Cut that shit out. And amongst my own like family, like amongst how it is, family be beefing all the time. Nobody beefs like family. Nobody beefs like family. You gotta stop doing that shit to each other. Korean don't, China, what? Chinese, Japanese. There's a few countries that look young. Thailand is, yeah. I've met some Thai people that like just don't age, man. They don't age. There is a few Filipino people that are like the Asian don't raisin gang. Auntie J, you're Asian too, but yeah, it's absolutely glorious to look at Asian generation photos. There's a couple like yeah, well, I used to work with this dude. He's actually half black, half Puerto Rican. Shout out to my guy Ison if he ever finds this video. My guy Ison, man, this motherfucker, like when I first met him, I thought he was like late 30s, early 40s. Come to find out, this motherfucker's a grandpa. He's just like a 6'1" football-sized black dude that I used to work with at the hospital. And he's telling me, oh yeah, my grandson, da da da. He's saying all this shit. I was like, this motherfucker got a grandson. Like, how old are you, man? And he's like, bro, I'm like 50, whoop wop. I was like, oh, this guy, you don't age, bro. He said, don't you see a little bit of grays? I was like, yeah, but that's a little bit of grays. You understand? That's a little bit. The fuck? Yeah, some people just don't age. Some people age really well. I argue like all black people age really well. You know what I'm saying? But what I met a grandma at this there's this Ethiopian restaurant I like going to. Man, she's like in her 60s. I'm like, I can't see it. I did not see it. I was like, I didn't know you were in your 60s. He's like, oh, you're being nice. I was like, no. I think if you ask everyone in this restaurant right now, they'll tell you, like, what's going on. No, I'm not, but I always hear black don't crack. Yep. And then I started seeing the Asians, and the Rock was out. And the Rock, I was like, oh yeah, yeah, because he's part Samoan. Excuse me, he's part Samoan. The Oos, he's a brother. 1 second, gotta hit the T here. Yeah, the Rock don't age either. That dude stay working out. That's what happens when you work out, man. Stay young. Well, I'm dying out here. Pause on that. The Rock takes first prize. I think he's what is he? Because his dad is half black, half Samoan, or his dad is full. I don't remember, but he's part Samoan and part black, to my understanding. I always thought that. My bad. That'd be your own kind. You have to worry about. Well, I always thought that was always in every race, and not just in Afro Americans. That'd be your own kind to have to worry about. Yeah, it's everyone, man. Because like we think we know each other. Like we think we're the better versions of each other. Rocks, rocks are Asian. I don't know what that means. I'm over here dying though. I'm gonna hit the mute because I'm gonna be spitting. Yeah, man. You meet some people that don't age some days though. Just in general. The Suge Knight blunt. Forgot the name of this shit already. Shit was killing me. La Flor Dominicana. Double Liguero. Fucking me up. I'm like, God damn. Yeah, man. Let me see something. I think it's somewhere in China where they forever have long black hair. That's where rice water comes from. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting actually. They don't age until late in life. Okay. Smoking that Suge Knight blunt, hella funny. If I want to date a Filipino girl, which dialogue should I learn? Tagalog. I mean, like, what? How do I explain this? The Philippines is like the third or the fourth largest English-speaking country, which is actually strange. You know, because they like, again, back to Filipino people compensating and like always be very compensating to each other or just other people and hospitable. They want to learn English because they know who's showing up mostly, like majority wise. So they know like there's gonna be Filipino tourists, and then the majority of the world speaks English. So then they try to learn that. German, that's funny. I think The Rock's no aging is more to do with his side. He really look. He's yeah, but he's part because the thing is when his dad was still wrestling, his dad still looked young too. His dad didn't age that well, and his dad is black, so that's the other thing. But then it's on again. It's both sides. I bet you a high school teacher. You sound very educated, and it's funny. You know, it's funny. I used to just do a lot of I used to do a lot of organizational work. So I used to do a lot of organized stuff where I'd have to go into the school sometimes. I wasn't a teacher, but we would do like know your rights trainings for kids, and then we would do like just kind of like a 3 to 5 hour workshop. These kids, institutionalized, internalized racism, things like that, and then like other like American history things. Sometimes we throw in our own little our mix of it because some of us came from like Latin descent, so then they would speak about how that they speak Spanish because what I'm saying, they speak Spanish because like the colonization, but then over in our country we spoke Spanish, and then it was just more of the items and things like that, if that makes sense. um when I call up Metro PCS, my cell phone representative, the Filipinos speak just as well as you. It's funny, man. There's like a I love when I call some like a bank. I called my bank or some shit, and then there's a Filipino girl on the other end. Like I thought that, and then I had asked her, and then she's like, "No, I'm from Indonesia." I was like, "Oh, damn, your accent is just hella, it's hella like ours." So that it just kind of cracked me up. Filipinos are sharp intellectually. I've heard that before, man. Because I'll tell you an interesting thing. Um, Auntie J, one of my one of my friends I've known since kindergarten, and I remember when he went to a different, like we were like 2 years apart. So he went to high school while I was still in middle school. But he was telling me a story. He said we had a foreign exchange student. This dude was from the Philippines. And then they said, "How do you know the manual?" Because they had like this manual for computers and programming. He said, "How do you know the manual front to back? And how do you know how to use the computer?" So then he's again, this guy's from the Philippines. He's a foreign exchange student. He said, "Oh, the reason why I know this is because when I found the manual, I studied the whole manual front to back twice. And then what I did at home was I had a piece of paper and I drew a keyboard, and then I had to draw the spacing of the keys, and I would practice on the piece of paper like it was a real keyboard. So now that I'm finally able to use a real keyboard, um, all the typing I did on the paper, it's a little different because they're buttons." That's he was saying the story. So then my friend was like, "Yeah, man, them people, they take that dedication shit serious." I was like, "I'll believe it." Like when I came, or sorry, not when I came here, but my dad and my uncle, when they first came to the States in 1979, they were given this big ass dictionary. They gave it to me too, and I was trying to read it. I couldn't do it, but they're telling me, "Yeah, you might want to just flip through these pages and just learn something every day." So I was like, "Fuck, man, I gotta learn this shit." So I'm over here turning the pages, trying to learn some shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning all these weird ass words that nobody uses. You know what I mean? That's how I came up with the name Syncope Bane, because I found the synonym for faint was syncope, and then the synonym for poison was bane. So a lot of that was dictionary thesaurus work and shit. That was me as a middle schooler trying to figure shit out. But then my uncle, he was so big on like, "Oh, do you know how to do the alphabet?" He talked to me as a kid. He'd be like, "You know how to do the alphabet?" And then I would sing it to him. He's "Okay, can you do it backwards?" And then in like 5 seconds, he would go from Z all the way back to A backwards, like real quick. Like he would just memorize shit. But I realized the only reason why he memorized that is because when the cops used to pull people over and ask him, hey, do the alphabet backwards, he would know how to do it really fast, which was funny as fuck. He's a goofball like that. He's a goofy, but he was throwing hands too. He's one of those. I bet I'm over here babbling. For some reason, Spain was the chillest country colonizing, even though they imposed Catholicism. Yeah, they gave jobs to the natives, even governmental ones, built cities and welcomed them, saying they were. Wait, I missed that saying they were. Yeah, see, they smart and good sense of humor. That's the like like the average Filipino be loving to have fun and dance and do karaoke and shit, and to be singing all the time. And I'm like, I'm not really one of those. I don't be dancing like that, and I don't be singing. But I'm just one of those I like being around the good shit. You know what I'm trying to say? Big, it's arguable. It's arguable. You know what I mean? Because like for example, like with Filipino people, they're doing good before Spain got there. Like they were really like ruling the Far East in terms of like supplying gold to all of the kingdoms. You know what I'm saying? So they were like there was multiple empires over there. That's the other history aspect people don't really talk about. Like they called themselves datus. Datu is a form of chief. There was rajas. Rajas is a form of king. They had the sultans and the sultanas, which was the kings and the princesses. They had like various forms of like royalty, and then like gold. Like they were doing, they were just like in Africa. They had grills and like gold in their ears and mouth, gold in their house. Like it was just decked in gold over there, and that's why like that country is being pillaged to this day. And their mountains, are being pillaged by overseas companies going there for lumber and gold. So it's like a thing that's like it has most of the natural resources. Um, Not as much as like maybe a Kenya or Mozambique or something like that, but like they be having shit, and that's why Spain was trying to fuck with that. But also Spain knew how to go. Like think about that. Spain skipped over the whole continent of Africa. They went past India and then went straight to the Philippines Islands when it was time for colonization. They already knew they wanted to go across the big pond to go over to South America. They already knew that. They already knew that. But how did they know to skip all this shit? There was like more knowledge. There was more. It's like the Moors knowledge, like their libraries. It was in Spain before they burned it. Obviously, they took the Arabic text and then they went straight to the Philippines. So they be knowing shit. That's why they went straight there. They went to Guam or whatever, Thailand, parts of Thailand. They were just looking for shit. Also, if you look up the history, that's why the colonization is questionable on the islands, because it's like, and I say all this to really just empower my people, because it's like, you know, if they really were colonizing, then it's like, why didn't they stay? Why did they have to, quote unquote, sell the rights to America when they didn't necessarily own the people that were fighting back and winning the wars all those years? They were getting colonized, and those people uplifted and fought back. There was revolutions on like every single island. That's thousands of islands. Revolutions, damn near on hundreds of them. You know what I'm saying? So that's a whole other long story that like again like history is written by the victors or the people who walk away with the money and the funds. But you got to have people like me and then people who listen to their grandma or grandpa, and then I listen because my grandpa has stories about his grandpa. So that's 5 generations of stories being locked in here. So that's why I talk my shit, because it's like you got to know your history, man. A lot of us don't even speak like 2, 3 generations down the line of your family, but it's like, oh yeah, my grandpa was really there when Japan was over there. Japan was over there. My grandpa was like 9 years old, and Japan was over there telling him Japanese soldiers were raiding his house, asking his mom like, "Do you have any men in this house?" They said, "We got this little boy." They said, "We'll take him." They took the little boy down the mountain. They made him stuff bodies in crates and shit, and a lot of these bodies were his neighbors that were shot and killed. So it's like he'd been having this history. So when people tell me weird shit about like, oh, Japan's whatever occupation in the Philippines, I'm like, nah, I know the real story. That motherfucker was living there. And then when they had the martial law during that time period, my dad went and lived through it, and he's telling me the story. So I'm like, damn, I have all these stories. So that's why like when they tell me those stories, and then I tell you the stories about my neighborhood, and then I tell you the stories about my grandpa's dad or my grandpa's grandpa. You keep going down the line. It's like you got to know your shit. A lot of people don't want to talk to their relatives, man, but it's like they got them stories. They survived this long. Their strength, they survived this long just to tell the story. And you're not gonna want to learn it. There's some power to that, and it's more about representing a race or a culture. It's about the human strength. You know what I'm saying? It's about the human spirit to will itself, to like I'm not gonna learn language. I'm not necessarily gonna practice your religion the way you want me to. I'm not necessarily gonna whoop de wop. You know what I'm saying? Everything this and the third. There's a human spirit aspect to that is very powerful that you have to tap into. But yeah, because I am Filipino, I'm blessed to say I have the shared experience and the shared love from like damn near everyone around me. That like, oh, we accept you guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in a black neighborhood, so it's like I've never been like necessarily felt outcasted. Like they've always kind of made me feel welcome, and I always wondered about that. I was like, yo, these motherfuckers make me real welcome. Couldn't tell you why, but it just be that way. But there's a relative feeling and experience that you get with certain people and certain brothers out there, man. It's really interesting. I don't take it for granted. It's just blessings. It's really just blessings. Well, hopefully, what I'm saying makes sense. Because it's like me talking that talk can be very like off-putting to people. Like oh yeah, he's over here boastful. No, it's just like I have the right to be proud of a struggle that was overcame. And that everybody should say that. Everybody should have that story to say. Everybody should be able to be proud of overcoming anything. Goes without saying. Yeah, buddy. That's the shit I be on. See what we got. Like I missed something. All right, 1 second. Hold on. Gotta check something real quick. Yeah, man. This one right here. This is one that's gonna be. This one right here is gonna be documented in time. This is gonna be one of those ones where like people might come back and just be like, man, what the fuck was they on? What was in the cigar? What was they on? What was they talking about? Check the live chat. You'll see we was tapped in with each other. You know, in a righteous way. In a righteous way. Really checking in with each other, tapped in with each other right now. You know, it's like I don't know why I just got a lot of love on this one, but I'm trying to say I'm not a Christian or Muslim, but I study the Bible and sometimes the Quran. So because I don't have no religion, I'm non-denominational. Antonio, I'm not religious either. It's really interesting. Yeah, I try to I go based off my own spiritual experiences, and then I try to listen to everyone else too. I think there's a lot of relative stuff from I had my friend from Somalia. Me and him would talk a lot about certain stuff, and he was like, yo, he'd be like, I love that you're not religious, but you and I can have a conversation. I was like, yeah, I like that. I like that. And then my other friend, I used to train in martial arts with, he's super Christian, and me and him chop it up about life a lot and God, which is really dope. I know it had to be harsh, but at least they didn't kill all the natives like England did. Yeah, that's why you barely see natives in America, while in South America it's full of them because we lived among them. It's interesting, man, because it's like I see what you're saying. I see what you're trying to say. Um, and like it's weird because I don't like want to measure it. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like there's interesting things where like yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. We might have to save that for another live stream, big. But I appreciate you bringing that up because that's fair. That's a fair point. You know what I'm saying? That's actually a very fair point. Um, what's the other dude? See, the killings is one thing. That when killings start happening, there's certain culture that just stays strong, and then it stays like prevalent. So the native culture is still strong. Um, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but even though like the numbers are down, um, but yeah, every supposed country was killing themselves, if not enslaving themselves to a certain degree. But to the degree of colonization and re-education and miseducation that was happening, that's a big issue. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be thinking about that stuff. Does the currency over there look the same as United States? And if not, can I see what the money looks? That's a good question. Antonio? Are you talking about like? Cause you live in the States, Antonio. Am I reading that correctly? The fuck? I got a dollar bill on me. Hold on, man. This is for the scammers. Go ahead and copy and paste that. You talking about the dollar bill here? In God we trust, with the pyramid and the eagle. They be doing weird shit like that. I don't even like carrying money. But I only keep dollar bills on me so I can go to the claw machine. There's a little claw machine where we play. I go to a little claw machine and try to grab toys and shit. But yeah, I be thinking about that shit, man. I be wondering, like Canadian money is really nice. Canadian money is like it's like it doesn't crinkle. You know what I'm saying? And then it has like a little see-through thing and stuff. Love claw machines. You good at them? Lil, if you gotta come over here and then help us with, we got the most flimsiest claw in this machine right now. It's like, yo, we can't win shit. But yeah, I get you. Like you shouldn't compare these things, but at the same time, colonizing is always wrong. Yeah, I got you. Yep. In some way, even though it had to happen sometime, like it can happen worse or better. That's what I mean. I hear what you're saying. But I guess with that being said, it's like we're not really even like now, we're not necessarily killing each other, but everybody is reprogrammed. You know what I mean? A claw machine. Claw machine is like the You know, like you have the joystick, and then you hit the button, and then the claw comes down and grabs the toy inside the little thing. I don't know if you guys have that over there. I don't know where, like, where you're at. I'm not sure where you're at, big. But yeah, hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. Post it up, man. Deposit in that energy. You know what I'm saying? Pause where I got to. You got those? Okay. I believe God loves everyone. Oh, big old bug. What the fuck? I believe God loves everyone and not just one particular religion. Fair. Yep. I feel the same way. And there's over 5,000 different religions. I don't know why there's a dollar sign, and each one says, "If you want to be saved, congregate with us." Yeah, they're all like that. Y'all live in the United States. Does Filipino money look the same as? Oh, I see. Oh no, I live in the United States. I live in the U.S. But I was saying, yeah, over there the peso is, it's kind of like American money where it gets crinkled up, and it's like it can be like purple and red depending on who's on the front. So they got different like old like presidents and shit like that be on the front. Does that make sense? Yeah, let me know if that makes sense. Because all of our shit is like green and blue. You thought I was in the Philippines? Nah, man. I'm in the States. I live in the United States. I've been to the Philippines though. Like I was born and raised here, but I was what's it called? I went to go visit because there was like a typhoon relief thing, and I wanted to go there and help out, but we didn't get a chance to help the people with the relief typhoon stuff. But I ended up going to Mindanao, seeing a lot of the native people in the mountains, and then also hanging out in Manila, but then also like um, spending time with the organizers there, and then I met my family for the first time in the Philippines, which was pretty dope. You know. I know what you mean about reprogram. I always say we are the same, only consciousness re-experiencing itself in different ways. Hey, big, you know what's really interesting is like, yeah, I feel like there's just a big reprogramming happening. I don't know how to explain it. It's like everyone knows the same social media people, if not the same social media sites. And then it's like, again, back to me thinking about someone. If I'm thinking about someone, I think about calling them. I think about someone and they just call, things like that. Like the thing that gets intercepted in between is like, let's say you're thinking about someone, thinking about this person, and then all of a sudden I start thinking negatively about them. A lot of times, like I think I'm unconsciously comparing them to either a person that I admire on social media, if not a concept of something I learned on social media that I'm comparing them to, and they just don't fit the mold or fit the bill or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like every time I get offline and I'm not really accessible, I start missing people, and I love people a little more, if that makes sense. It's really strange because I'm concentrating and focusing on the real stuff. It's like the natural detoxing of our brains or whatever, back to frequencies, back to thinking of someone, the mind and all that. I might have missed a couple of chats up there because I know you said it was either you or Antonio brought something up about that earlier, but hopefully that makes sense. I think about that shit a whole lot. Yeah, man. Also, the purpose of the cigar, for those of you wondering, is like I don't get often. I do it at the end of the work week, and I don't get that much often to like cigars force me to sit down and relax, man. I'm always trying, like, I'm always trying to hit the live. I'm trying to do some whatever. Boom, boom, boom. Always trying to do something. LOL, I'm laughing because I thought I was texting someone over in the Philippines. I live in North Carolina. I used to live in New York City. Oh, you thought you was talking to a Filipino person? I mean, you are talking to a Filipino person. You just thought you were talking to someone in the Philippines. I heard you saying. If I might have to throw on that accent just to make it look real, because you got trees behind me and shit. This is some fucking United States trees, bro. Like if maybe if I was under like some coconut leaf shit, maybe and you saw like some fruits in the trees and like some tropical birds, maybe. I know, but you guys got tropical trees down in the Carolinas too. Oh, my bad. I know you guys got it down there. I'm trying to low key move to the Carolinas, if not Japan, if not Texas. It's like everyone's a different world because we have different experiences and are born in different circumstances socially. Got you. Physically and biologically, but it's like we all have some in common. Deep, yeah. Like we have the same objectives. I think a lot of people are just trying to figure shit out. No, I got you, big. I got a plane overhead, so let me know if like it gets choppy, connection wise, because my connection be fucked up sometimes, especially at this park and in this little region. And like I ran out of data, because I've been going live damn near every day. But I think yeah, everyone kind of just lives to try to figure shit out. It's really interesting. Um, The other main thing that I learned was like, for example, you think about animals. When animals are born and they grow up, they, whether they're able to eat a lot or not, they just inherit their parents' strength. So a bear will have the same strength as its mom and dad to some degree, and it'll just grow up and big as shit. So it'll always have the same genetics and stuff. For us, in order to get big as shit, we have to almost like out and then like relax and rest. So we have to break our bodies down and then heal it. Break our bodies down and heal it. You know what I'm saying? For human beings, that's the difference. But the other thing is like, uh, us as babies are very like dependent on someone to raise us. But like a baby fawn or like a baby duck or a baby whatever, baby fish, they know what to do right away when as soon as born. Like as soon as they come out the sack, as soon as they come out the egg, they're just like, ah, we gotta, they just have the instincts right away to just do some stuff. But humans, we have a different dependency. But because of that, I think that makes us very complex, but also capable of a lot of things. So, you know, I think we just try to figure shit out, as human beings, as we grow up, and hopefully, in the process of us figuring things out, we're doing right by each other. That's the way I look at shit. Hopefully, I'm trying to be better at just being another person and do right by everybody. I'm trying to you know, intentionally, be thoughtful about every. I don't know if that makes sense. It sounds kind of weird, but like, I'm just trying to intentionally, because sometimes they don't take much to care. Like sometimes you just do stuff for people and they ask you why you did it. I was like, I mean, I have something available. I mean, maybe I might have had money. I could buy you food. Why not? Some people have to think about, when you think about your expenses before you do it, it just kind of means you're in a bad spot, which is fair. But sometimes there's some days I just don't care. I'm like, I just want to treat my friends out to food or gifts or something. I don't care. Life is short. I just want to do good things by people. That's all. And I try to practice and exercise that, which is interesting. You still have something about your Filipinos ancestors deep inside. Yep. Whether it's their strength, resilience, or whatever, but you lived it your way. The one the one you had to. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, that's the other aspect, man. It's like, but see, and with that being said too, it's like on an ancestral level, people forget that like when you, for example, if you're choosing peace and harmony or like just respecting yourself, you're living your ancestors' dreams because they were going through so much trauma consistently on a day-to-day, weekly basis, whatever, that like they couldn't wait to be like, I can't wait to get my family to this golden country of America. I can't wait to get them out of this rut. I can't wait for my prayers to be answered. And then my existence is like the answer to what they wanted. They wanted the bloodline to end up looking like this. Live in America where they could play video games and watch TV, relax, and then have happy days and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm living that, but a lot of people don't really see it the same way I do. Therefore, they end up being a little more, nonchalant or like ungrateful for their own existence at times. And that's the tricky one, man. I try to exercise gratitude as much as possible. It's not easy because some days you get tested. That gratitude gets tested, and you're like, ooh, am I still grateful or am I just going through something personally? Like you start thinking it's just you going through it sometimes. And I don't know, you just got to power through. That's the way I look at it. As long as I got, both my legs and both my arms, I'm doing better than like some people, you know what I'm saying? My existence is the answer to their prayers. That's a sick line. I mean, that's, when you think about it that way, that's what they wanted. They wanted their family to, I want my family to be well. Everyone thinks and says that, and then they implement things like actually traveling across the globe, taking certain jobs, investing. They do certain things, and then it works out. Not only is the investing there, but they invest in like the actual kids. They treat them a certain way. They raise them a certain way. They give them discipline, and they just become like you. The men in my family have always been praised for like, because my grandpa had 7 sons, so the men in my family have always been praised for like, oh, these are like upstanding guys, because my grandpa raised them well, and that shit trickles down the line. I got a cough. Hold on. Yeah. So I got like generations of grandpas looking down like, oh, look at the great 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 grandson enjoying a cigar on getting out work early, enjoying a cigar on a Friday. You know what I'm saying? Like it's shit like that. And it's like the genetics live within inside you too, which is dope on an anatomic level and atomic level, like atoms and shit, DNA. What is that? There's like a number that resonates with it because it goes like 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. all those numbers also relate back to like grandparents, 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 grandparents. It just keeps going up the line, and all those stuff that exists within the DNA sequence is just like generations, at least 7 generations of grandparents, which is crazy. Excuse me, man. I'm over here living it up on some Ja Rule shit. Hopefully, what I'm saying makes sense. I need to go have a good day, bro. Yep. You should write them stories from your grandpas down so you never forget them, and you can tell them to your descendants. Hell yeah. And if anything, hopefully, YouTube still exists in the future. So then my great grandchildren will watch my videos like, oh my God, this guy, look at this dude's beard. Look at him. He look crazy. Look at his tattoos. Look at this Jimi Hendrix shirt. Like I want my great grandchildren to look at this shit. Like, yeah, he's saying all this stuff. So hopefully they see these videos and hopefully, because a lot of times, like back to family, sometimes family don't be caring what you say. Like I'm like there's no like I'm the youngest of all my cousins, and I know all this history about my family. My older cousins don't give a fuck to this degree. They also didn't grow up with my grandpa in their house. You understand? So it's like, how am I the youngest and I gave a fuck and I listened to all this shit and I was able to digest it, and then whatever in my brain. How am I able to do that? It's just who I am, I guess, individually. So a lot of times when I speak these stories and talk that shit, hopefully it influences somebody to do right by either your own family or the people you consider family in your life. So that's all it is. And then do right for yourself, because you only get, you know what I'm saying? It's my responsibility. That's what I'm saying. So it's just like, it's one of the things where like I literally was in a room full of like, it was like me and hell of my cousins. I was saying shit and it was kind of going over their head. And I'm like, why would I tell you a lie? I'm literally telling you what my grandpa told me. My Lulu said this shit. We grew up hearing these stories. And it's like, why would I lie? He wouldn't lie. He literally experienced it. He's not a smoker. He's not a drinker. So he's going to, you know what I'm saying? He's really living that shit. The only time he really started drinking was when he came to the United States and they gave him a glass of wine. He's like, I'm gonna start fucking with this wine. I'm gonna drink a beer once in a while. That's it. But he wasn't like a hardcore drinker, hardcore smoker. He didn't fuck with smoking because his mom used to smoke. He used to see his mom smoking cigars like this, and he would run up, he'd snatch the cigar and then chuck that shit across the field. Like, I don't want my mom smoking. I'm gonna just chuck that shit. That's what he would tell us these stories about. So he never fucked with cigarettes. But the real crazy story about cigars in the Philippines is like, if you got planes flying overhead, and then you like watch this. You see the lighting on that? The fire getting lit up right there. If the planes overhead see the lighting, they know where to find the people in the jungles. So that's why they was trying to like, hey man, chill out with them fucking cigars. Do that shit in the daytime, and then just make it look like fake smoke signals. Then we gonna run on this side, boop bop, hit the little other part of the jungle. But at nighttime, don't be smoking. So he really wasn't fucking with cigars and cigarettes at all back then. That's some other deeper shit. You know what I'm saying? All that is history. Nobody care about that shit. People just want to live life, get drunk, go to the bar, get fucked up, and just fuck somebody. That's all people want to do. That's all people want to do. You know what I'm saying? People want to move out the house from their family so they can get their own place so they can go fuck somebody. That's all they want to do. Just tell the truth. I want to be responsible. You don't want to be responsible. You just want to get fucked in privacy. That's all it is. That's all it is. People be lying. But like I said, man, I grew up with shit. When I was 1 year old, my grandpa had his third stroke, and then he was forced to retire. And then by the time I was in second grade, shit, I was like, what? How old? That was 2002. So I would have been turning 9. I would have been 8 turning 9. And my mom was first to retire. So ever since I was 8 till about right before I turned 29, for 20 years, I was taking care of my mom. She was fucking physically disabled. So it's like people don't have those responsibilities in their life. People don't have that chip on their shoulder where it's like, you don't know what it's like to take care of people. Like, this is a grown up that's supposed to be taking care of you, my mom, but I'm taking care of her as a kid. She's over here shitting in a bucket in the living room. I'm having to take the bucket downstairs and dump it in the toilet. I'm carrying my mom's shit to the fucking, you know what I'm saying? I'm a kid with a fucking bucket of shit and piss. A lot of people can't have that story. My grandpa's the same way. Dude's falling down all over the house. I'm over how to pick him up. You got to be strong. You just got to be strong. And it's just like, that's the men's mental health shit where it's like, yeah, some days you want to break down and cry and really tell somebody this shit. Nobody give a fuck. You know why? Because they want to move out and get fucked somewhere, because that shit matters more to them. You know what I'm saying? Their responsibility to their own pleasures matter more to them than the fucking history of some family or just in general. So like, I don't be fucking with people. That's why I be on my dolo. I'm at her dolo, bro. I don't be fucking with people. Like in my own family, like they know I be talking shit. I be talking this shit. The way I be talking right now, I'm talking that shit. And they know they on bullshit. That's why they don't want to talk to me, because they know I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell them the truth. Fuck them. I love them, but fuck them. So that's why I'm just enjoying my day, because it's like I don't pretend like I know I'm better than them. I just know who I am, And I just know like I forgive these motherfuckers and I love them with all my heart. But just know like if I spend time with you, I'm gonna say some shit and it's gonna fuck up the whole day. I don't even want to do that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna just smoke my cigar and go on live stream. Get them boom, get them plays in. Woo do wop. It's Friday for me. Friday for them looks differently. You know what I'm saying? There's all type of intricacies for that shit. But just know it's all love for me. Like my Trinity is God, love, and nature, man. And every day, if I hit a live stream, you're gonna see me do that. You're gonna see me, be grateful, access to God and myself, and just talk about God in general. I'm gonna talk about love, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be underneath these trees. I'm gonna be next to these bugs running around. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do that stuff. You know what I mean? That's just me. But I don't trust. It's just who I am as an individual. It don't make me better than no one. It's just who I am. Like you can have pleasures, but what's the point of life if that's the only thing you care about? Some people like that, man. What's the sense behind it? You need to have other things. And unfortunately, my pleasures have turned into me on solo time, chiefing the cigar, dolo. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't need, like I said, certain family members I've called before on a serious level. They never called back to check on me on a serious level. Some of them I've left a text for. They didn't necessarily text me back. And this is all like serious talk, not no bullshit talk. Like, hey, let's talk and gossip about this, that, and the third again. Like, nah, man, we can't have that kind of conversation. I don't want to talk about it because it's like we had to bury my grandpa. I had to bury my mom 3 years ago. It's like, what we doing? What we doing? A lot of those other family members can't say they've had that hurt, pain, and grief in their own household yet. They can't say that, and until they do, that's when they'll understand what the fuck I was talking about and the bullshit that I was on when I was going through what I was going through. But no one was there for me necessarily. They were there, but like right now when I need them the most, it's like, where y'all at? Where we at? They're missing. I don't know. They call for bullshit. They act like, oh yeah, and then they try to disguise it like we do. And I was like, I don't care, bro. Just hit me up when it's time to say some real shit and you're really ready to say sorry. That's all it is. Let me know when you're done bullshit and you're ready to say sorry. And you're done doing that. That's what I'm only saying this because I know some of my family members probably go on my live stream and look at this shit. That goes to my brother too, who's in my own household. If he sees this shit, when you're ready to say sorry and stop being a bitch, let me know too. Cousin, same thing. When y'all ready to stop being a bitch and you want to say sorry, you can say that shit to me too. I'm not nowhere to hide. Motherfuckers know where I live. You got my address. Put that shit in the car. Hit the GPS. You know where to find me. And if it's about hands, y'all all gonna have to jump me, and it's all gonna come from a place of love. I throw hands with love, man. That's all it is. I love these people. I'm telling you. But on my heart, they all raised me, but they're disappointing me right now. They all raised me, but they're disappointing me right now. So I have every right to judge them and have some shit to say. I don't give a fuck. Fuck. That's what we on with it. I got nothing to hide, man. Do I have a dream? My dream right now is my dad held it down in my household for the longest. My dad held it down in the household for the longest. So I want to make him proud. You know what I'm saying? I want to put some money in his hand or whatever that look like. Just make sure he good. That's really all that matter. And he don't even fuck with me like that, which is funny. Like sometimes he's just like, oh, this James doing this shit. He just know I'd be on bullshit sometimes. Like he's one person that really don't want to deal with me. He's been taking care of me for the longest, but it's funny because I want to make sure he's good. That's all it is. He's a good dude. He stayed down. He's taken care of. Like I said, we've been taking care of two physically disabled people in our house our whole life, at least my whole life. And it's like he's been holding it down. That's like the breadwinner and everything for the longest. So I love that dude, man. With all my heart. I should probably say that to him more, but it's like men shit. He don't want to hear that shit. He's like, man, he'd probably punch me if I say that shit to him. I don't know. He might just swing something at me. If I tell my dad I love him, he might fucking swing a slipper at me or like a fucking I gave him the little workout bar, a little bendy joint. He might swing that shit at me like, oh, that's how I feel. So I'll be trying to do this for his legacy because he's a good dude. I might change my last name to his nickname. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those. I'm gonna change my last name to his nickname. I'm gonna do that because I'm more from his bloodline. I'm more, on par with him. He's a good dude. He's a fighter and he's a dreamer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more like him than anyone else. Well, I'm kind of like my grandpa too. I'm kind of like me and my grandpa are the same people because I be talking shit back and he loved me for that. He's like, this, what's wrong with this kid, man? This kid always talking shit back. I love him. That's the way my family is, man. We love when you fight back. That's how toxic we are. That's the other toxic aspect. Yeah, that makes sense. He's old school. Just tell him you respect and admire him. Because if you say, I love you, he's gonna call me gay. He's like, damn, my son gay. What the fuck? And he's gonna start swinging. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to defend myself, and I'm gonna have to defend the gay nation. Shout out to the gays, whatever. I'm not gay, but I'm just saying, shout out to them. You know what I mean? But no, he's cool with all that shit because it's like, We have a one of my favorite cousins. He came out as gay, and like I think everybody knew that because he's always been kind of, not dainty, but he's a little more feminine growing up. And then my other cousin, um, she's a stud, so But my dad don't judge nobody really, but he probably would just say some funny shit like that to me, and then swing for fun. You know what I mean? Like, damn, bro, I got ah. But that's how it is, man. Family is like that. Family is like that, man. It's like, and mine is like one of the most, you know. I don't say this to bash them. I just say it's toxic because a lot of people relate to having a toxic family, and I'm like, you could be just like me, where it's like you love them, but just know, like, I'm not dealing with you guys until we really be honest with ourselves about this bullshit. There's some bullshit looming in the family. If we can't be honest and have the conversation about it, let's not talk at all. So I don't be talking with people because people want to bullshit and like, you want to come hang out and watch me drink because I don't drink no more. So I'm like, I'm just watching you drink, and I'm like, I don't mind supporting that, but let's just have a real conversation for once because my household's really hurting, and it's been hurting for a long time. Everybody been forgetting that. So I don't stand for the bullshit no more. That might be just some getting older shit. What the fuck? I gotta take care of shit. I gotta take care. That's why I just take care of my dad, man. I take care of his mental health. When my mom passed away, I realized him and my brother were grieving, and for me, it was like I went straight back to work. Like it's my turn to go to work. You know what I mean? Because when my dad was taking care of bills, when people were passing away and going in the hospital, I was just watching that shit as a kid. Like, oh, he's a real one. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was good for his mental health, but I realized he was real for just going straight back to work. So I did the same thing too as a young man. I was like, let me just go straight back to work and take care of these funeral expenses. Let me lock in. Let me make them thous, boop pop. You know what I mean? Bro, take care of your dad. It sounds like he's a great dude. He's a great guy, man. I can't ask for a greater dad. You know what I mean? I can't ask for a better dad. He's the best dad I've ever had. He's the best dad I've ever known. You know? A lot of people don't realize that. You know? How's it going, man?
Hey,
What's up, man? I see the Bulldogs.
huh?
I see them Bulldogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, no.
He's a stubborn one.
That one?
Yeah.
The one running off? Oh,
Yeah,
no.
she's okay. She listens.
Okay.
This way, Ray Ray. Good girl. Good girl.
Oh.
He's the one that's stubborn.
Oh, he's stubborn. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't want to do something, he ain't doing.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, man.
He's a good dog.
You take care, man.
All right.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah. Well, there we go. Got the Bulldog live on the tattoo. Man. This neighborhood, we love Bulldogs, man. This neighborhood, we love Bulldogs, Pit Bulls. The what do you call this? High school in the middle of the neighborhood, Bulldogs, man. And then even my elementary, we were both. Well, there's two elementaries actually. There was Leschi Elementary where I went to, and there's TT Minor on Cherry Hill where I grew up. That's where my brother went. But those are all baby bulldogs. We call them junior bulldogs, baby bulldogs. But it's a dog kind of a neighborhood right here. And in the high school, when you start to really get into high school, you're like, why would I go to all the other schools? I started out as a bulldog. I'm gonna end as one. That's how everybody felt. So you'll see people walking around with pit bulls and bulldogs. You'll see bullies walking around, and you see the color purple too. Purple, black, red, green. Oh, my bad. Uh-oh. Bro, what's this? Big, what you mean by this, man? That's some pause shit. That's pause, man. What you doing here? Wait, what? More with, I'm not even gonna read that. I don't know where this came from. I don't know where this came from, Big. I don't know where that's coming from. That's pause right there, though. That's pause. Let me light this. Where you coming with this shit with, man? I don't know where that's coming from. I got smoke in my eye. Damn. Yeah, man. Phone at the 20%. I'm gonna wrap it up at the 9.3. I don't know what that is, Big. That's some pause shit. That's pause worthy. I don't know if you know about that pause game. But yeah. Let me put this out. It's donezo almost. 20% is not much. Yeah, when I get to like maybe 2.5 or 3 minutes from now, I'll probably shut it down. I'm not addressing that big, or as you know, use like 7 of that to get home. I'm like about, speaking of which, 7 blocks home, but yeah, it ain't too bad. He said he didn't write it. Your brother got your phone. Oh, see, you goofy. I don't know what that is, bro. I'm not addressing none of that. What's pause shit? He's trying to change the subject. Appreciate it, Lilith. Lilith, how you been, man? What's going on over there in the world? You guys getting better? You know, it's funny. It is starting to cool down here too. It is starting to cool down actually. It's starting to. This morning was cold as shit on the way to work. You know, hella cold. No reason. Kids are sick. Oh no, I got both. Damn, that happened to somebody. We had a tournament. What day was that? We had a tournament on, what do you call this? Boom. We had a tournament on a couple Saturdays ago, and then somebody got, I don't know, actually one person got sick, but I don't know if a lot of people got super sick. But there's one dude that lately he's just walking around with strep throat, just coughing a lot, and we're like, it's been like 2 weeks now, man. You've been sick. What the fuck? So I don't know. Hopefully he's all right. Shout out to my guy, Melon. But hopefully he's doing all right because he's been kind of sick. Oh no, it seems to be going around. There's something going around. I don't know exactly what it is, to be honest, sickness wise. But yeah, big. I'm not addressing none of this, man. I don't know what that other shit. You were saying that other shit. I'm not addressing nothing no more. I'm waiting until I hit that 93, 93 to infinity right there. But yeah. Speaking, I wonder if dude even knew. Hold on, let me look at this up. I guess too much to scroll back at. I'm buzzing enough to be rude. You're buzzing enough to be rude. You talking about in person or just in general? Yeah, I believe the same thing. What? I don't know, man. I don't know what that is. Dude embarrassed me. I'm saying we had a dude one time. We said his phone got hacked, and I was like, "Hey, it's cool if you take ownership for it." And he said, "Listen, man, I'm sorry. I just don't know how to deal with myself." I was like, "It's cool." That was just like, "Hey, man, it's just weird shit." Pause shit. Pause shit. I will say like this, right? Because you're gonna hear me say pause a lot in the future. I just like it. It originated in Harlem, but the way I use it is the way I've learned to use it is like if you say anything that's kind of like just on your shit. Yeah, I feel the same way. If you say anything that's kind of sus, slightly gay or whatever, usually most people say pause just to make sure like, hey, I don't, whatever. But a lot of it, when you really think about the history of it, a lot of the English language is already sus. So like that's why pause is kind of a fun game because it keeps you on point and being sharp when you speak. That's all it really is at the end of the day. It's not really a hate speech thing. It's just like one of those, you just say something that's kind of sus. You know what I mean? That's just for other people listening and checking in. So when you hear me say pause, sometimes I might say something where it's like I might say something offensive just in general, and I might just pause that. But it's rare. It more so it's like if you say something sus, But like I said, it originated in Harlem. The way they played it over there, they joked on people. If you said something kind of gay or sus back in the day, they'd be like, "Hey yo," and if they said "Hey yo," that meant that they get to clown on you all day for the weird shit you said. But if you said pause before they got a chance to say "Ayo," that means that nobody can clown on you because you checked yourself. So pausing is just checking yourself. That's all it is. So when you said that shit, you just gotta pause it. That's all it is. But you don't. Again, that's just the game I play. You don't play the game. That's why I'm not worried about it. That's why I thought about it. I was like, you don't play pause game, obviously. So don't worry about it. You just saying weird shit, and I don't want to address it. That's all. I say weird shit sometimes. Sometimes it's not. It just doesn't read after they already said what they did. It's live. Timing is heard. Yeah, it happens. It happens. It happens sometimes. Sometimes the chat shows up at a certain pace for me, if that makes sense. But yeah, I might push it. I'm at like 15%. I'm doing all right, actually. I'm doing all right. We'll see when it hits 10%. Then I'll slow down on the smoke and I'll start walking. What you on live in a house with 13 siblings? I'm the only one with phone with 3 others. They always trying to steal my phone. Big, you good? Claiming someone took your phone makes it odd. Sure, hey, big. We'll leave it alone. We'll leave it alone. Leave it alone. I listen. We believe you. All right. I mean, obviously, I believe you. Whatever, but I believe you. But also, like, I just realized, like, people out the country and people not of like United States. I don't want to say urban, but like hood shit. They don't really do the pause game really. That's some shit we used to do in the 2000s, and then people used to do no homo. But then that was damn near cancelable. If you start saying uh if you start saying if you say no homo, it's kind of a cancel. So like people will stop doing that and they start moving to pause because it's just like you're not trying to be disrespectful. You're just checking yourself. That's all it is. But I will kind of end with this story where it's like this is why it's important to kind of just be mindful because sometimes some women will like not be mindful and they'll overtly try to flirt with you. Like I'll give you an example. I went to this one kids event. There's this kids event with like baseball and shit, and I don't know how to play baseball, but I went to kind of just support the event because I knew one of the people who were running it. Now there's this lady that I kind of knew, and I met her and her kids before. I didn't know if she was married or not. She was there with her kids, and she's over here like doing a little batting stance with the bat. And then I get over there. She's like, "Oh my God, it's nice to see you again." And then she pulls me in, grabs me by the wrist, pulls me in, and then she puts the bat in my hand. She's like, "Can you teach me?" I was like, "I don't really know how to play, but I guess you just hold it and then you hit the stance." And she's like, "Oh wow, okay." And then she tried to do it too, and then she tried to hold the bat, and then as she's holding it and talking to me, she's like, "Yeah, it's been a while since I had to hold it like this before." And then she's like, over here gripping it a certain way. She's gripping it a certain way. She's like, "Yeah, I haven't held anything like this before. It's been a while since I held something like this before." Like she's just talking to me a certain way, and it's like slightly flirty, but then it's kind of like, oh, you know what I mean? Like but she's doing this in front of her kids. So I'm like, what the fuck going on here? Like, what you doing in front of? Why are you doing? What's all this? You know what I mean? So with the way the pause game works, like it don't really work with women, if you will. Like if they say some pause worthy shit, it's like it's whatever, man. But for men, I guess it's just for them to check themselves or whatever. Not the one. You don't have to convince Bane, and it don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter, big. It really don't matter, big. You can leave it alone. Like I said, we've been left it alone. But like I said, because she was being very, like, imagine if a dude was saying that to someone like, "I never held this before with the bat." Imagine a dude holding a bat talking about, "I never held this before." That's a pause. It's like, hey, oh. But just to let you know that they do it all the time. Big, hey, listen, man. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal, man. But that's the point too. You just gotta constantly check yourself, certain language and certain talking and stuff. That's all it is. It's not that serious. Some people don't play it. Some people don't have to do it. Um, but it's a good exercise of the English language, realistically, in my eyes, at least. But yeah, I'm gonna start purging this here. Hold on, let me check something. All right, I'm gonna see. But yeah, man, I'm having a really dope day today. I can't lie. It was a good day at work. Everything was chill for the most part. I was able to unwind over here. You know what I'm saying? Sun's starting to set. Started talking about some history. Started talking about some what do you call this shit? The simulation of life, family, Philippine history, personal history, whoop de wop, all of that. Pause game. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Everything was covered. Everything was covered today. It was covered so well. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna see. Oh my bad. Why don't you believe me? Like I don't care if I wrote anything weird, but I'm angry that I don't. You don't believe I actually have so many siblings that they actually do steal my phone sometimes. Um, big, like whether it's true or not, like I'm not even caring. Like if it, like here's what I'm saying. If it's your siblings, it's whatever, bro. But I'm just not gonna address it. That's the whole point. If it's your siblings, cool. If it wasn't, cool. Either way, I'm not addressing what was written. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When I say pause shit, that's all I'm saying. Had great ethics chat. That's yeah. If you didn't care, big, you would let it. There it is, right there, and we'll leave it at that. Yeah, and we'll leave it at that, right, Lilith? We'll leave it at that. But hey, man, everybody dropping in. I don't know if you stayed around this long and you wanted to understand why I talked about simulations and shit, um, astral projections and deja vu's and all that shit. All that stuff was kind of happening in the past couple of weeks, and then today it's been yeah, it's been like this. Hey, wait, look. Uh-oh. I'm going to post my first soon. Lilith, hold on, I might find you on the comment section. So tiebreaker. Okay. Okay, I'll check it out, Lilith. I'm gonna find your channel actually, because I know you left a comment on the other poll that I posted, so I'll find that. I'm actually below 10%, but yeah, okay. Hey man, love y'all, appreciate y'all. Lilith, I'm gonna check it out right after this. Love y'all, appreciate y'all, man. Peace.